Have you heard of this timeless poem that has inspired, touched, changed, and saved lives, been the subject of countless pieces of artwork, and for over 50 years has ominously been signed Author Unknown? The poem, Footprints in the Sand. The poem, Footprints in the Sand. Hi, my name is Kathy B. The poem Footprints in the Sand has always been one of my favorite poems. When I was on the road with groups singing and performing, my mother gave me a little copy of Footprints to take with me, and I carried it with me everywhere. Sometimes we were in places that were a little scary, and I was always comforted by having that poem Footprints in the Sand. While I was on the road, I would see footprints in truck stops all across the country, and at the bottom of it always said, Author Unknown. And I was always curious, who wrote my favorite poem? In 1979, I was in California along with my first husband, Jim, and we had just come off the road to do some recording. I had a gig at the Palomino Club in North Hollywood, and this lady came up to me and she said, I love the song you were singing, and I would love to invite you to come to my home for some spaghetti. Now, a home-cooked meal to someone who's been out on the road, oh, that's glorious. Is of course, I said, yes, we can make it. So that night at her dinner party, I was admiring all the poems that she had and plaques on her wall, and my eyes just were drawn to this one little poem called A Little Seed. And it was a poem about child abuse, and it was from the point of view of a baby. Very, very heart-rending. I told Mary I love this poem. And she says, oh, you like that? I have a whole bunch more. So she ran into another room. She came out with this great big box, and she threw it on the table. And as I'm going through all these poems that I'm reading, I stumble upon a 1939 copy of Footprints in the Sand. And it had Mary Stevenson's name on it. And I immediately said, Mary, this is an old copy of Footprints, and it's got your name on it. She says, yeah, I know, I wrote it. I said, but you couldn't have. Footprints is Author Unknown. She came in the room, she became really solemn, very sad, and she said, I wrote this poem when I was 14. And she said, God gave me the words. I just pushed the pen. She's throughout the years, I was happy when I saw people like the poem, but very sad when I saw it everywhere and nobody believed that I was the author. And so I just ultimately threw it in this box and went on with my life. I felt really bad. I said, Mary, here I am, all of 25 years old. I'm going to help you become author known. In 1999, January the 6th, my friend Mary Stevenson Zangari passed away. She was a dynamic woman, and she left her footsteps along the way. Now, I am almost the same age that she was when I first met her, and I decided for my 60th birthday what I really wanted to do was the documentary about all the many things that have happened with Footprints in the Sand. People need to know behind the scenes. So we've called the documentary Footprints, Miracles, Secrets, and Lies. This documentary needs your help because the stories are not all in. We need to hear from you, your footprint stories. Now we do have some. We have the Christy Lane story about how she used footprints and she turned it into a song. We also have Dolly Parton's biography. In Dolly Parton's biography, she talks about footprints, and she talks about how it saved her life. She was contemplating suicide. The infamous O.J. Simpson book. Many people brought O.J. copies of Footprints. They mailed them to him when he was in jail. And he put it in his book. He made it a chapter called Footprints in the Sand. Larry King was so taken by Footprints in the Sand that Larry added it to his book of powerful prayers. And of course, we did help Mary get her own book. It's called Footprints in the Sand. Now, the stories behind all of this, Mary wasn't happy with this book. She wasn't happy with the title of this book. When she first got it, there was an alternate title that Mary wanted to call her life story. And we share all that in the documentary. All the things that happened behind the scenes, plus the people who claimed to write Footprints in the Sand. I documented everything. Mary's 1939 copy of Footprints in the Sand. My husband and I found a forensic scientist who took the poem and he authenticated it. We have all of everything, and it's going to be in this documentary. It's just going to be such a wonderful, wonderful project. The miracles from other people talking. That reminds you of The Secret and all the things that happen, these heartfelt stories. Then the secrets, all the things behind the scenes that happened with Footprints over this 35 years that I've been involved with this project after discovering this old copy. And the lies, many lies. Because any time you have money involved in greed, you're going to have that little ugly thing called lies that come up. So we show this. We are welcoming you to share stories about Footprints. We also want you to tell us how Footprints affected you. Even if you just get on board and say, thank you, or I like Footprints, or give us your name so that we can thank you for being a part of the Footprints campaign. So we're doing the Indiegogo campaign, which kicks off on my birthday, September the 25th, and we want you to be a part of it. We want to make this the biggest Indiegogo campaign they've ever had, with more pledges than they've ever had. So we need your help. We need your support to come on board and be a part of this. I am just so grateful. I'm grateful that we're doing this. I am so happy, and I know in my heart that you will. Because I followed up with this poem called Footsteps. And I'm asking people, what kind of footsteps are you going to leave for those who follow you?